uh, by Honorable Agenda in relation to delayed flights of KQ. Mr. Speaker, it is true that Kenyans traveling can get very inconvenienced, but at times this happens when something goes wrong with an aircraft or it fails to take off from another destination and therefore disrupts the rest of the events of the flights. And then also a flight takes off, develops problems airborne, and comes back. And that happened one time, Mr. Speaker, to the flight to New York. And people were stranded at the airport, although efforts were made to make them comfortable for many, many hours, and eventually messed up the whole schedule of the New York flights, which we was a big favor from the American government so that it could make travel easy. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, there is a need to make sure that the management is assisted by this house to make sure that our destination is reliable and the people wish to use our branded aircraft. The second issue is on the abduction of the chiefs by Mariam. Mr. Speaker, it is very surprising that up to today, chiefs who are first security people, who are usually accompanied by police officers who are armed, who are going to plan an event where the president is going to visit a part of Kenya, and which is a very serious security issue, even for the president himself, get abducted, and up to today have never been recovered either by the armed forces or the police forces, Mr. Speaker. That means if a chief who is well secured in an area in northeastern can be abducted, then any Kenyan there or even any Kenyan in Kenya can easily be abducted and they find themselves outside jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very important petition and we should really do a level basis a house to make sure first and foremost these chiefs are found alive and safe and to make sure that Kenyans are safe in the country. And the biggest responsibility goes to the president, the defense forces, and the Ministry of Interior. Every effort should have been made by now to make sure they are back. However, abductions are not a new thing in the country. We've battled with quite a number recently. We had an MCA who was abducted 8 months ago and was released recently. The circumstances have not yet been explained. And our own Senator Mutata had a huge squad to his house, ready to abduct him in one of the evenings, but luckily he had left the place. Therefore, any one of us can have trouble. The final one is the one by Honorable Kavindu in terms of in relation to the farming cooperative, where land is being stolen right, left, center, and where even there's a dam called Miwongo, where I had an opportunity to visit with my sister, Senator Kavindu. And then I realized for those who are about to be compensated, those pieces of land have been interchanged with others because the government is about to compensate residents so that they could have a huge dam. And therefore, scrupulous people have exchanged the plot numbers and want to benefit while the real owner goes away without benefit. And I think this House needs to rain hard on that so that justice is done to the people. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to join the Senator of Nyandarua, the family of Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, his friends and relatives, in celebrating the 50th anniversary of his passing on. And Mr. Speaker, as I do so, I want to affirm that we have a unique opportunity as government to refuse a repeat of what led to the death of J.M. Kariuki. And the best way to do it, Mr. Speaker, is to end the culture of abductions and extrajudicial killings, because it was in exactly the same manner that Mwangi Kariuki was picked from the Hilton Hotel and he went and met his death in Ngong. Mr. Speaker, the pain the family went through, this House should be part of it because we brought shame It is in this house that the vice president announced that JM was alive and he had gone to Zambia. Mr. Speaker, it is also in this house that the commission of inquiry was ordered by the then president that they expunge the names of the people who had killed JM. Mr. Speaker, borrowing a leave from what has happened in the US, i.e., the truth surrounding the killing of John F. Kennedy has now come out clearly. We have an opportunity now for the truth to come out about these senior officers in government who killed Josiah Mwangi Kariuki. Mr. Speaker, it's good we guide Senator Medhu to see whether there's a way we can do so that we push for these truths to come to light. And Mr. Speaker, integrity is everything. I know, not many might know, but a member of the cabinet, Henry Pius Masinde Muliro, former MP of Kitale East, quit his job as a minister because he said he could not sit in government that the prop had indicated had a part in the killing of Josiah Mwangi Kariuki. Mr. Speaker, my second comment is on the matter raised by Senator Catherine Muma about the position of mathematics in our new education system. I want to appeal to us politicians and the rest of the Kenyans that this matter must be left to professionals. Those of you who are old enough, you know that in our O and A-level system of education, all of us from primary up to the end of O-level in the fourth year in secondary school, mathematics was mandatory. However, when we were specializing at A-level, there was no need for us, unless you are pursuing a pathway that was scientific, there was no need for us to be given further mathematics. And therefore, I would like to support those people who are thinking that at senior secondary, it might not be necessary to teach people mathematics. Let mathematics be taught up to and including junior secondary. Mr. Speaker, sir, my last comment is on the statement sought by Senator Onyonka. Senator Onyonka has raised the issue of drug trafficking, and in particular, the unfortunate incident of the arrest of Margaret Nduta. Let us be careful, Kenyans. Following what is going on social media, we run the risk of glorifying, as we fight for the human rights of this young lady, we run the risk of glorifying drug trafficking. Even as we call for fairness on the handling of the matter of Nduta, we must teach our children that there is no profession to be admired in the dark world of drug trafficking. It's a shame, Mr. Speaker, that some of the cases that end up being arrested in Singapore, in Dubai, and other international airports, they are able to start their journey with those drugs from here at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. It means our system at this airport is rotten, it is corrupt, Mr. Speaker, and the officers responsible are incompetent. We can't have a country that is going to be profiled internationally as a country of drug traffickers. And Mr. Speaker, I was seated on that chair there when Professor George Saitoti was standing here, and he read to this country the top 10 drug traffickers in this country. They are on record. Some of them are in government. Some of them are very loud in the opposition. They were named, the drug traffickers. And some say that is after George Saitoti had chosen to take them on, that George, Professor, lost his life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Gloria.